This morning, all eyes on the west coast of Florida as they brace for a monster hurricane. We are tracking Milton with the weather impact. We've got it coming up.
Evacuation orders in place across Florida's Gulf. We're going to have a closer look at how millions of people are getting ready for Milton.
The stepfather of a boy who died in a Meriden go-kart crash earlier this year is now expected in court today. He's facing 2 charges. I'll have more on that coming up next.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for starting yours off with us here, Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus America areas.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Angelo Bavar. Hope your morning is off to a great start. Things nice and quiet as you step out the door here in Connecticut. That is not the case down south. People across Florida getting ready for this. The worst as Hurricane Milton turns its attention towards that state. This looks like a monster. Let's get over to meteorologist Matt Scott, who has more details about the track of this thing. What's going on, Matt?
Been watching this thing all night long, even when I woke up in the middle of the night to see just this monster storm as it kind of goes through a phase of kind of changing a little bit. We'll talk about that in a moment, but still going to be a massive problem for the western coast of Florida. We have a quiet seasonal pattern around here, cooler sun, rain free, so all eyes turn on Milton's eye, which is in an eye wall replacement phase right now. What it means is it's kind of like transferring, gathering its energy, and it gets a little weaker in that process. It was a Category 5, now just a 4. Still a major hurricane, but whereas it's a little weaker in wind speed, it's bigger in size. So still looking at the potential of life-threatening storm surge, 10 to 15 feet with major flooding on the western coast of Florida. Right now, the focus is just south of Tampa for a landfall location. Of course, that is subject to change. You can see the size of Milton and compare it to Florida, and you can see that it doesn't matter where this storm makes landfall. It will be having a major impact, likely overnight tomorrow with max winds close to 120 miles an hour. As a Category 3 storm, that is going to do some serious damage moving to the east and northeast right now. Around here, there's nothing to worry about. Temperatures a little cooler this morning than yesterday, in the mid to upper 40s inland, lower 50s at the shore, on the way up to the upper 60s, and an overall pleasant day. Coming up, we'll talk about Milton and how they are getting ready on the west coast of Florida, and if we need to get ready too. Stand by. Lots to talk about with him. We'll have it all coming up. Let's do traffic right now. Symphony Privet standing. Oh, nope, I'm sorry.
It's me.
Rachel Piscatelli.
Yep,
you're not
me.
Symphony Privet.
Nope.
Rachel right now has a look at traffic. Good morning.
All right, good morning, Matt. 6:03 right now, and on the roadways, we aren't looking at any issues. I was looking at some images from Tampa this morning, and they are gridlock there as people are trying to evacuate, so they have lots of traffic ongoing. But for us here locally, we look pretty good across the state. 91, 95, 84, all running smoothly this morning. A live look outside over in Waterbury, 84 east and westbound, light volume there, and your drive times from 18 to 25. Angelo and Erica, a 4-minute drive. Back to you.
Rachel, thanks so much. Well, as Matt just mentioned, Florida is bracing for the impact of Hurricane Milton.
Evacuation orders are in place for communities along the Gulf Coast. Marion Rafferty takes a closer look at the preparations and the warnings from those state officials.
Long lines outside of stores and gas stations, and even longer lines of traffic out on the roads.
God help us all.
As many Floridians make last-minute preparations and evacuate ahead of Hurricane Milton's arrival.
It is expected to make landfall on the west coast of Florida sometime between Wednesday evening or perhaps even very early on Thursday. Of course, you can see impacts prior to the eye wall making landfall.
Milton is expected to bring intense winds and critical storm surge that could lash many regions already devastated by Hurricane Helene several days ago. Shelves are running bare as people stock up on water and other supplies.
Batteries, the propane if you lose your power, so you can still cook, your generator cords.
Some residents made last-minute flights to stay with friends and family in other states.
I was like, we need to get the kids out. Like, this is the whole state, and it's going to be a direct hit to where we're at.
Tampa International Airport shutting down commercial operations Tuesday morning because of Milton. The Orlando International Airport suspending similar services Wednesday.
There's some evidence that hurricanes are becoming gradually more intense, and so as a result, they're more frequently reaching a major hurricane status, which is category 3, 4, or 5.
At least 51 Florida counties are under a state of emergency as fears soar.
I'm very worried because we lost power during Helene for about 20 hours before it even started raining or anything.
Meanwhile, crews are racing to remove countless piles of debris from Hurricane Helene before Milton makes landfall. Marianne Rafferty, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
This morning, the stepfather of the boy who died in a go-kart crash in Meriden earlier this year is due in court.
Yeah, police filed charges against him after finding that the go-kart had several deficiencies that made it dangerous for the child to be driving. Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live at the Meriden courthouse now with details. Brooke, good morning.
Hi, good morning to you. Well, that boy's stepfather, Stephen Solfi, is going to be in the Meriden courthouse today. He'll be facing a judge for those 2 risk of injury charges. Now, this is coming after one of the stepsons died from that go-kart crash back in April. So this has been several months that police have been working on this investigation. Now, police say that the brothers were riding the go-kart in a parking lot over at Cronenberger Park. They tell us Solfi told them that they could take one more lap. This is when the cart took off at a high rate of speed, crashing into a metal gate that blocked an emergency vehicle road out in the park. 6-year-old Adrian Warzecha was knocked unconscious with a head injury. Police say that he was wearing a helmet, but unfortunately, he died. His 4-year-old brother was not wearing a helmet, but he was not hurt. The police report shows the go-kart was modified to go up to 28 miles per hour, which is 23 miles per hour faster than the toy is actually supposed to go. Investigators say the cart also had several deficiencies from poorly done modifications by Solfi, making the cart unsafe. Solfi was arrested last month. Meriden Mayor Kevin Scarpati spoke with us at a vigil, though, earlier this year.
I can't comprehend or really fully understand what it is they're going through losing a child, but members of the community coming out, showing their love, showing their support, I really think is what tonight and this time is about.
And again, Solfi will appear in this Meriden courthouse later today. He will face a judge on those 2 risk of injury charges. Of course, we'll have a reporter in that room, and we'll have more on that later today. Live in Meriden, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Really tragic. Thanks, Brooke. We'll check back in.
Meantime, 607 officers in East Haven say a baby died after they were found unresponsive in the bathtub. Police say the 7-month-old was left in the tub without supervision. Officers responded to a home on Redfield Avenue at about 9 o'clock Sunday night. The child was taken to the hospital and was pronounced dead. Police say that they do not believe someone did this on purpose. And I do an exclusive follow-up for you here to a story that you saw first here on Fox 61. The Connecticut Supreme Court dismissed a case that sought to get alleged Bridgeport ballot harvesters Wanda Geter and Aetna Martinez arrested.
Fox 61's Matt Karen is outside the state's highest court to explain the ruling and what happens now.
Well, it has been 5 months since the justices originally heard arguments and nearly a year since the group Fight Voter Fraud used that obscure law to hold the alleged Bridgeport ballot harvesters accountable. This decision is a big setback.
They never ruled on the merits of the case.
In this 17-page decision, all 7 Connecticut Supreme Court justices unanimously agreed that Fight Voter Fraud's efforts to arrest the alleged ballot stuffers Wanda Geter and Bridgeport City Councilor Aetna Martinez should be dismissed on standing.
The Connecticut Supreme Court took a different view of the law than we did.
The justices say Fight Voter Fraud and the 3 Bridgeport voters named in the complaint are not aggrieved or injured because they do not have a specific personal and legal interest in the arrest.
We're kind of scratching our head with the state of Connecticut Supreme Court saying that they're not. How could they not be?
It's a story Fox 61 first broke in November 2023 when Fight Voter Fraud leveraged this state law from 1868 that was used only once to hold alleged Bridgeport ballot harvesters accountable for ballot fraud caught on camera in the Bridgeport mayor's race.
Saying that we don't have the right to be somewhere that the legislature said that we have the right to be is the definition of illegal entry.
The justices went on to say other states previously had statutes of the same kind. However, those have been declared unconstitutional.
They utilized Massachusetts law and did not look at the history of Connecticut laws, which is extremely odd.
Fight Voter Fraud is now filing a motion to reconsider, a motion that's almost always denied. With no other legal avenues, the group is now in an ironic position. It must rely on the chief state's attorney's office to accomplish its goal, the one state office that's alleged inaction forced it to undertake this fight in the first place.
Our main purpose of this was because the chief state's attorney's office is not doing their job.
Unless the chief state's attorney's office is pushed, they're not going to do anything, and that's frankly unacceptable.
Now in June, Chief State's Attorney Patrick Griffin did charge Wanda Jeter and 3 other suspects with alleged ballot fraud that occurred back in 2019. But to this day, still no one has been charged or held accountable for the ballot fraud caught on camera just last year. Reporting outside the state Supreme Court in Hartford, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
We now know that more than 400 positions will be cut at Aetna's headquarters in Hartford. Aetna's owner, CVS Health, told the state labor department about a quarter of those employees work on site. The others are remote. CVS Health says those workers will lose their jobs in December.